R. So why it's called RRR?
It's because there's an R in water and there's an R in fire. So then there's a third R in the middle. Honestly, there's also an E in all of them. So it could have been E as well. Honestly, it could have been that. I guess that would have sounded dumb, but it's.
మీరు తీసుకొచ్చింది గోండ్ల పిల్లనట్టు ఒక కాపరుంటాడు. పులిని పట్టుకోవాలంటే వేటగాడు కావాలి.
నన్నీడ ఇడిసిపోకన్నా అమ్మాయి ఆదికొస్తుందన్నా.
ఆనందంగా ఇచ్చేస్తాను బాబాయ్.
Hello, I'm Nawina.
And I'm Manushree.
And today we are going to be reviewing the movie RRR.
The movie is directed by SS.Rajamouli, who has also directed Bahubali, and it has many famous actors, such as, and Nawin doesn't know these, so that's why I'm listing them, such as Ajay Devgan, Alia Bhatt, Sarithra, Charan, and NTR Jr., and other famous actors that appear. The movie is about two main people, Ram Charan and NTR Jr. The movie is originally made in Telugu, and we actually went and watched it in the cinema, and we actually watched it in its original version, which that's what we like to do. We like to watch movies in their original language. So we watched it Telugu, but subtitles.
Yeah. It's set in pre-independent India, which I thought was really cool. When we read about it, like right at the start, it had like a disclaimer and stuff. I thought it was a great movie, and they did it great, and it was very unrealistic, but also really good. Anyway.
Yeah. As for how we would describe this movie, I'm using Tamil word to describe it. It was very Brahmandam, you know, super majestic and like just so like filmy, and I loved it. Like I think this is similar. Like this can be put up on the pedestal with like Bahubali and all those, and like movies like Padmavat and all.
Yeah, and it was like masala movie and stuff, but like
it was still like masala.
It was enjoyable
like,
and not stupid. It wasn't stupid.
Yeah, so we really enjoyed this movie. The main premise of the movie is very simple. Basically, we have NTR Jr., who is actually the son of a famous Telugu actor, NTR. We have him, and basically he acts as a tribal man, and he's trying to rescue this girl who has been captured by the British during, you know, when the British were colonizing India, because she had a skill for tattooing. And so because the British were higher in society and had more money and were wealthy and had invaded India, they captured this girl and took her from her family. And so the entire premise of the movie is how will this guy, the tribal guy, rescue, you know, his sister, I think sister? Either he calls her a sister because she's a young girl in his village, but you know, it's basically just about like the clash between like super modernized colonial British India and then like the tribal authentic gang or authentic tribes of India.
Yeah, and then the other character who was acted by
Ram Charan.
Yes, Ram Charan. I knew that. He's a police officer serving for the British, and he's very devoted, as I mean, that's what's like in the start of the movie. So
his aspiration is to be promoted to special officer,
and he will hit people of his own color just for
But obviously that changes in the movie. You think in the movie it's like British versus the Indians, but it completely changes in the end. So the movie is 3 hours long. I have to say, at the interval point, like that, I was expecting that to be like the end of the movie. But you know, that movie was 3 hours long, and 3 hours, that director managed to keep us engaged. You could tell like the budget that went into this film, like just the capturing of that time in India, like just the costumes and the cars, it was absolutely amazing. I really enjoyed 3 hours of that movie. Like that was really good. And last movie I watched in the movie theater, I think it was Bahubali and Bahubali, you know, those like really big movies. And so finally we have watched this after almost 3 years. We watched an Indian movie in the cinema, and it was really cool. I really loved it. We don't watch many Telugu movies, but I think this is one of the only ones we have watched, and we really enjoyed
other
this.
than that camera one, that was a while ago. We watched one about a camera. It was not good. Anyway, this one was good. I liked it, even though it was all commercial and stuff.
Yeah.
We should get to the actual like story. Basically, there's so he's trying to get this girl from their village back to their village, and this police officer is trying to prevent that from happening because if he does, then he will get promoted to special officer. Now the problem is they become best friends before he realizes that this is the guy he's supposed to look for, even though he has the picture for like. And it makes no sense, but it's still good.
That was amazing.
I won't hold it again.
Finita, good job.
He had it the entire. So basically, the main idea is that this guy who has to look for this girl he's trying to look for this girl and bring her back. And this other guy who's Charan, Charan, he has to avoid that. Like, not help it. Like, what's that word? Prevent. Yes, prevent it from happening. So basically, if he does, then he gets promoted to special officer. Now the problem is they become best friends before he realizes that this is the guy that he needs to not let, bring him alive or dead to the person.
They help each other out a lot in that movie.
Yeah.
The way they two become friends is because they're both incredibly strong and have strong will and they're brave and they have a lovingness for helping people. This guy's a soldier and then this guy's a tribal man. And
water and fire, like the whole main idea.
I don't really understand
that didn't make sense, but it was cool.
I mean, the R. So why it's called RRR?
Because there's an R in water and there's an R in fire, so then there's a third R in the middle. Honestly, there's also an E in all of them. So it could have been E as well. Honestly, it could have been that. I guess that would have sounded dumb, but it's fine. The title makes no sense whatsoever. Okay. But the movie.
No, it's like rise, revolt, repeat, reform, something.
Repeat.
Like that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
The title makes no sense, but the forget anything that's happening right now. It does not correlate to the movie. Anyway, at one point when they realize that they're not supposed to be working with each other, supposed to be working against each other, they use water and fire to go against each other.
Oh, this movie is so dramatic.
But it's so cool.
Dramatic,
especially when they brought animals out. It was like I didn't expect that.
At the end of this, Charan is like the way he's like framed is as if he's God Ram himself, and that is probably, probably one of the most badass scenes in a movie I've ever seen. Like,
it's a bad word.
It's probably one of the most like amazing scenes I've ever seen in a movie. Like it was just so good. Anyway.
No, they made it about Hinduism in the end, and that was really cool. I really liked that because that usually doesn't happen.
Now to segue into the Ram Sita story, so he actually has a lover, Sita, who's played by Alia Bhatt.
We should make sure that they know Ram is played by.
Yeah, Ram is played by Ram Charan.
Yeah.
So
obviously.
So he's a lover who's Alia Bhatt, and I was really shocked because Alia Bhatt is a very, very famous actress. She's a Hindi actress, and so one of the reasons why I went to watch this movie. By the way, I booked this movie for our entire family. We would not be here.
Yes, and made us late by taking a 45-minute bath. Anyway,
if it wasn't for this movie, like if it wasn't for me, booking wouldn't be here right now. Anyway, I wanted that experience again of Indian cinema in like an American theater. So on that note, Alia Bhatt is in this movie, but she's not like a very prominent character. She's a lover of one of the main guys, but that's kind of it. Her name's Sita. His name's Ram. We don't mind.
Again, none of this movie makes sense, but that's not the point. It's a good movie.
Yeah. I think last thing I want, it's all over. Last thing I want to say though, this movie is incredibly gruesome. Like
at the start, it's very gruesome.
I booked this movie and it was like not rated, and I was like, oh, it's fine, but oh my god, like
it would probably be rated R if it was rated by now.
If it was US terms, it would be rated R definitely. And that's not for any like romantic material. Actually, the romance and comedy is really cute in this movie.
Honestly, how far Americans go in romance is how far Indians go in violence.
Yeah.
It's like a anyway.
Yeah, I mean, but obviously movies like Bahubali and all those, they were all really, really violent too. But this movie was very violent. So if you watch this, be warned, it's violent.
There's also some really, really good dancing. Like amazing, and the music was very good. I thought it was really great. I really liked it.
Especially with surround sound in the theater.
And the songs, they were so good. I'm sorry, the music was really good, and the lyrics were amazing, and they were all so cool.
I think I would have to debate with Nawina because I think the cinematography of this movie was probably
the music was better.
No, sorry.
Okay, well,
cinematography
really
was so much better than music because the establishment shots of everything, close-up shots, and just showing all sorts of things to convey where they are just amazing. Like, I think the work that went to this film was so great. Daddy, you can't rush us, okay? This was a 3-hour movie.
This is a 3-hour
okay?
movie. You're gonna get like a 4-hour movie.
Exactly. So, this movie was just really, really well done. I think all the thought that was put into it. I don't know how they filmed this during COVID. That's what I want to know. But it was just really, really cool. And I definitely want to see more movies with this actor. And also NTR Jr. Like, I've never really seen Telugu movies, so this was...
Also, let's talk about Samuthrakani and how, like, he was not...
Oh yeah, Samuthrakani was in this movie.
He was... Well, apparently he was in the movie. I didn't notice when he was in the movie. No, he was there. He just had, like...
He was such a dumbed-down character, though. He was so mellowed down.
He had, like, 7 lines in the entire 3 hours.
I was just... Yeah. And Ajay Devgan was in this movie, too. And he had, like, a prominent role and everything. Yeah, I mean... Again, I was shocked. We had really, really good actors, but they barely had roles in this movie. And the actors that haven't really been seen that much, like Ram Charan and NTR Jr., they had the prominent roles. So that was really, really, really
and
well
all of the roles were cast really well. There wasn't a single bad actor, especially even the English actors, like England.
Yeah, you could tell they did their homework. Like, things were historically accurate. Words they were using, ways they were referring to, like, the crown. Like, that was really, really well done. And I think I underestimated what Indians can do on terms of embodying a British attitude.
I was surprised.
I was really surprised about that. And so, and it was just amazing just to see, like, the way they portrayed the British was it was cruel. But I mean,
well, it is what happened.
That movie is very much Indian nationalism. Like, when you watch that movie, you're going to feel patriotism. We have, like, lots of times when it says, like, Vande Mataram and all.
No, in the end, when they added in the title thing, like, in the credits, they added a song about all of the different languages and cultures in India, and that was one of my favorite things about this movie, because then you felt like even if you aren't Telugu, you're like still a part of India, and it's independence of India as a whole.
Freedom fighters.
Yes, freedom fighters.
From different states.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's what that was. Yeah. You should come over here. Anyway, yeah, it showed all the freedom fighters, and it showed that it wasn't just in. I was about to say Telugu land.
Okay.
What?
Andhra Pradesh.
Yes, Telugu land. Andhra Pradesh. It was really, I really loved that at the end. That was one of my favorite things about the entire movie.
Again, incorporation of Hindi actors, Tamil actors, Telugu actors in this movie. It was really
animals.
It was really.
Well, fake animals, but like...
I don't want this to be like forever, but let me just say the cinematographics of this movie. I have seen the cinematographics in some Indian movies. Kutti Story. Very, very bad. Really, really
Can I
terrible.
repeat the movie name?
Kutti Story. Really, really bad. But oh my god, the animal, like...
The
I
tiger
don't know
was so
how-
good.
I don't know how they did it. Like,
Tiger. I mean, again, it made no sense because this man like fought a tiger like with.
it's
hands.
already mind-boggling seeing like an actor wrestle with like an animal that's not even there, and the way they
How did they
this,
do that?
I just it just makes me really
How
think.
stupid
so
must have
many,
that looked on the story.
so many cool
It came
aspects.
together.
We had like animation and we had realism and just stunts. I mean,
And amazing singers.
there was just
That
it was
little
just-
girl. There's this little girl who sings. It's amazing.
It was just so good. Like I think maybe I might be biased because we did watch this in the movie theater,
Yeah.
and I haven't watched a movie like this in a really long time.
No,
But
and I
this
guess
is-
it made all the comedy funnier because when other people are laughing at something, it makes you want to laugh at it too. It was funny at some points.
Well, when I think of Indian movies like Bollywood, Bollywood. When I think of Bollywood, like this is what I have in mind. Not the hype movies I've been seeing lately of actors who clearly just can't act anymore. I mean, like this is what I mean. I mean the hard work that's in this and the Indian nationalism that goes in it, and the colors and the vibrance and just the music, the filming. Like it's amazing how much. Like the way our country just looks at movies. We're dishing out movies back. I mean, we're dishing them out every single day, and
Only like one.
Some
in
are
five.
terrible, some are crap.
Some are so bad.
but the ones
Some
that
make
are
the
really
world.
good.
Some make the world a worse place than it needs to be. It's already a terrible place. Some. I mean, what? Anyway.
The ones that are really, really good though, there needs to be spotlight. So honestly, I would rate this movie a 10, but no one's gonna let me do that.
Well, because it was great. But
I would totally rate it a
also-
10, but did it make me like? I mean, was this movie like worthy of like?
I guess like on a. if
Like
you-
emotionally worthy? Was it worthy?
Yeah.
I'd
So-
have to.
That's the only reason we're putting it at a 9, but it was really enjoyable. And what I thought about it after is that there's no written rule that an Indian movie has to be realistic. It's just it can't be unrealistic and stupid at the same time. I mean, most of the time
So
those
harsh.
two go in hand. It's really dumb, but it was cool. Like the amount of times that you gasped during this movie makes up for how unrealistic it was, which is okay.
And it's
So-
3 hours long, and to know that we were able to sit in our seats for 3 hours and be engaged throughout.
Except Saita had to pee me. Sorry. See, I was smart and I didn't drink anything. Anyway.
The fact that they were able to engage us for that long is a big deal, especially children. So it was good for all ages, and it was just a really, really good movie. I want to rate it a 10. Either way, we're rating it a 9.
We're rating it 9.
You have to go watch. You have to watch this movie, 100%.
If we weren't like movie critics, we would rate it a 10 out of 10. But we are movie critics. So we're 9.
Yeah, you have to watch it, 100%. This movie, unfortunately, I'm sorry, but we're probably not going to see movies as good as. You're probably not going to see a review as good as this one for the next many months, probably, because it's hard. I mean, it's hard to find really, really good movies unless there's a lot of time put into them. But I hope you enjoyed this movie review. I think we enjoyed it a bit too much, actually. But we had a lot of fun, and this movie was just so much fun. Definitely go and watch it. Stop hurrying me. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. You should pay us. You know that? You should pay us for this movie review. You know how hard it is being this famous. Is he still filming? Okay. Well. Petition for him to pay us $20 each for this movie review.
Honestly, you should actually do that.
Yeah, do that. Yeah.
I need a new way to pay. I need you to pay me for doing your homework and stuff. I need a new instrument. I'm still playing on a plastic instrument. Idiots. Expect me to talk about music in this and still play a plastic instrument.
Okay, Nawina.
Sorry, anyways. You can pause. You can stop.